You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in a poem. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sharon Campbell with the Plan to Prosper podcast show. And I'm telling you, we are snowed in, iced in, and ready to go. But we are here this Wednesday to make sure you get the information you need to grow your company. How are you doing? For us that snowed in and iced in, we are like, yes, but work still happen. To all of you that's over there in the sunny states, you wish you would have been here. The snow is beautiful. But everyone be safe out there, no matter where you're at in the United States or in the world. Just be safe. As we usher in February and it's Black History Month, we got to reflect on our history, not just for people that are Black, but for all people, for all of us, to understand the culture that we live in and respect each other for our history and not try to take that away from anyone, especially our children. They need to understand that different people in the world have contributed to wonderful things. That Black people built the White House. Yes. That Black people have given so much of their self in building the United States of America. From educating some of the brightest minds, not at just HBCUs, but all colleges and universities. That we have so much in common as people. And to try to erase any of that is like trying to erase the Bible. I can honestly say, it's like, are we really trying to erase the Bible and the history of the Bible? Are we really trying to erase all that God and Jesus have done for us? And that's what Black history is about. Because if it wasn't for some of the most talented Black people, you would not have been on the moon. It was a Black woman. You would not have been able to get your mail in World War II. It was Black women. I know. The stoplight, Black women. And Black man, sorry about that. Oh my goodness. When I think of everything you think about is peanut butter. You think of all the great things that we have been part of. Oh, COVID. A Black woman helped be part of the finding cure for COVID. We just have so much rich history. And so we're going to take this month every Wednesday to showcase our Black history.
I was
Mark,
just gonna mention one thing really
hey,
quickly, and all along those lines. Let's not forget the ironing board, and I believe it was the microwave and the refrigerator. But we just lost a lady that helped us with Black History. That being in the last couple of days, Dr. Gladys West, who helped people get around the GPS because she was
that's right. I'm going to say
and everything like that.
we have so much history.
Right.
So to try to erase that is just don't make no sense.
Doesn't make any sense, but I just wanted to bring up Gladys West, and also, as you were saying, things that you were trying to remember. I remembered the ironing board, and definitely, I think the microwave and the refrigerator, and a number of other things that are out there as well. But I'm gonna let you go back to
No.
your
How about
presentation.
this
But I
here?
just wanted
The
to add
light bulb. How about the light bulb?
the light bulb. Yes.
How about the stoplights that everybody get tickets?
Yep.
Okay.
The
How
stoplight.
about back in the days, the horseshoe going to shoe for the horse?
Yep.
Black people. How
Yep.
about all these great HBCUs and all the things we produce? And so to deny that history is like you deny your own learning.
Yeah, you deny your own history. 'Cause let's not even forget that we had roles in not just the GPS, but even in the internet. So even the thing that we're on now, we had roles in that as well.
Okay. And Mark, go ahead and bring up the PowerPoint
I'll bring up
presentation.
the PowerPoint,
And
and I'll also give.
we're gonna explore all this great history every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay. Think about this for this month. We're gonna be talking about the power of reading Black History Month. Go and order you some books. Amazon, deliver at the front door. Go to the library. Go to Black bookstores. Get involved. So much involved in that and in that experience. And Mark, can you make the PowerPoint a little bit larger and just take me down if you don't mind? Okay. Let's talk about the power of reading our own history. Welcome back to my podcast family. I say it is so great to be back. And you could just make the podcast the slide bigger and just make me smaller. I want them to really see what the slide is about. Oh yeah, thank you. That's perfect right there. As we step into Black History Month, I want to pause and remember us of something simple but powerful. Reading is not just a habit. It's an act of reclaiming our power and who we are and what we stand for. The power of reading our history open up our minds. It helps educate each other. There's so much to talk about. And when we reclaim our history, we're not allowing other people to silence us, to erase it, or to rewrite it for us to what they think it should. Every page you turn in a Black book open up who we are, and it's in our DNA. And Black History Month is not just one day. Our Black history, 365 days a year, it is rooted in who we are. And we are entrepreneurs, business owners, community builders, just everyday people changing the world, making it into a better place for all people. And the power of reading your own history. You have the opportunity to see your own self inside of that history and all your own possibilities of what you can do in the world. As a young girl, we look up to some of the richest people like Rosa Parks. My feet was hurting, so I'm sitting down and I'm not moving. Fannie Lou, when I get sick and tired of getting sick and tired, then you make changes. We have those that we can look back as little girls and little boys and see. See, if you look at the march of the monks, but you look back at Martin Luther King and how many Black people march way before they march, for peace and change. They helped change the world. For us that's here today, they laid down their life so that we can enjoy this life. And when we read about that, we think about our ancestors and all that they brought to the table of knowledge. And then how we took that knowledge and put it in books and place it in audios so we could listen to it at different times. Reading is not just a privilege for us. It is the fabric of who we are and how we have given so much to the world. Reading is an act of reclaiming your power when so many people are trying to take our power away from us. It's the opportunity for us to share some of the best books that have been written in the world. We are Black educators, entrepreneurs, scientists, faith leaders, artists, community builders, everyday people changing generation after generation after generation. And you know what? We write about fiction, about history, about the art world. We give people hope through our writing. We're able to move through a book and find ourselves in other places. We're able to vision ourselves growing and thriving and be a writer. So I've just said to the world, look out, Black History Month. It is not just February. We have 365 days a year of reading, learning, and thriving and sharing. Join a book club, a Black book club. See ourselves with so much pride and pass that down to the next generation, the next generation, next generation. I see our Black history in the light of the Bible, how rich it is of history, that it tells a story, how the Bible shares us with stories and ventures and journeys across the world. That's what Black books talk about. It talk about us of being a slave, how we came over, how we endured, and now look how successful we are. It talks about the fact that our ancestors could be in the cotton field and start with a song and a hum that changed everything. They give stories around the fireplace, meaning around the table, conversations that change lives. That is what our Black history teaches us. And I want you to be a part of that. Read and build critical thinkers and strong leaders. It encourages our audience to think different, to ask more questions, to say, what can I learn from this story I'm reading? To Kill a Mockingbird by Maya Angelou. How does it connect to my life, my business, my faith, my community? And what responsibility do I carry moving forward as a leader? Black affirmations empower young Black women and young Black girls that they are enough for who they are. that you could wear plaids and flowers and stripe it together in the fashion industry and be okay. Reading together build community of knowledge. It provides us a place of learning. You can do this right in your family. Order a book and have a reading club right in your family. A church reading club. A book club that you could be here in one state and part of a book club and members in another state. How a simple book can start a conversation. How a simple book can unite generations together. Having grandmama and great grandmama and daughter come together with grandchildren and talk about slavery. How great grandmom remember that it wasn't a TV, a phone, a sail, a ice maker, a refrigerator, but they could share those stories and you could write about, look how far we came. And then the next generation can enjoy the stories behind Black history, how we can laugh together, acknowledge one another's struggles, and embrace all of the good things about ourselves. How our ancestors came across a long sea and endured. How some jumped over in the water not to become a slave to anyone. How the Constitution of the United States of America was written and changed. We need to know this. And that is why it's so important to read. To know when it happened so you won't go back and let someone else take your right away from you. Let reading become a form of self-care and self-respect for yourself. Use reading as a platform to build self-confidence. Great, we have some of the best they say self-help book. I say self-development books because it's developing us. We have some of the best tools at our fingertips through reading. It helps you build your communication skill. It helps you to become more clear in your vision. It strengthens your leadership style. It actually helps you develop strategic places and work to do on yourself, on your company. It makes you a better person. So you want to unplug from all that TV, all of that social media, and lose yourself into the words of a Black person that is written for you. So our message for Black History Month: don't just stroll, read. Don't just celebrate Black History Month, learn something. Don't just remember it and let it go by. Apply what you know. Because when you know your history, we unlock our future to a better place for ourselves, for our children, and the generations that follow. So, here at the Plan to Prosper show for Black History Month, we're encouraging you to pick up a book for 365 days a year and educate yourself on all the great things that we have contributed to the world and that we are still engaged in. There's no greater knowledge base than the knowledge base of learning and growing together as one. And so, as we continue moving through this month, I'm going to invite you to be part of this process. Share with us, how would I say, what you think. Your favorite book? Yeah, we want to hear from you. What is it that you are thinking? Your favorite artist? Or if you're a person that loves artwork, your favorite painter? Someone that has moved you and shaped you? Go and browse through and see what that looks like in the Black section. How that is what you can improve yourself with that. I want to hear from you about your book club you started with your family. It could be just the two of you, and then start inviting other people to join. And it is something you can go to the library and pick up out a book and do that. You can use your family. Somebody's in New York or somebody in California, somebody in Mississippi, and y'all could do financial literacy together. There's so many other things you could do as you read. And Mark has just joined us back. You have any parting thoughts, Mark, about Black History Month? I think he picked up another line. So I'm saying to you, this is such a great time of the year. To be part of something so wonderful is learning your history and sharing it. You will be amazed how a young person will react to the fact that you could educate them about the past, about slavery, the big migration, about civil rights, the Constitution, women's rights, people rights, about health care for Blacks. Oh, that's a big one. Mental health for Blacks, how to build a community. We have so much wealth of knowledge all wrapped up in ourselves. We have built this country, not by ourselves, but we have contributed so much to it. And the only way you're going to really know is to read. Don't allow somebody else to tell your story. Write your own story. And also, I challenge you to write your own story. You don't know who's out there that you may inspire, change, or help. You have a story. All of us have one. Share it with the world. Share things that's going to impact people, change their lives, and have them to grow and thrive. Send it to us at our website, www.thesharoncampbell.com, so we can share it. Tag us on LinkedIn, and Facebook during these next 20 plus days, because we're going to be posting, educating you about Black History Month, what it means, how we can grow and thrive from it, how we can change our income level, especially around financial literacy. Now, that is a great way to bring and close the gap in our community, bringing us together to think about how we spend money between one another and close this economic gap, that we can have a home. Yes, we can. If you could pay rent, you can learn how to get your credit together to buy a home. How do we do this but through communication with one another? We have allowed COVID, and it's still around, I do get it, to make us believe that we can't communicate with each other and be with each other. When you have a lot of focus groups, you're going to be amazed through focus groups how we are misinterpreted, especially the Black woman. We are not angry, y'all. I don't know who wrote that, who told it. We are not angry. We are just people.
Nope.
Our men are not thieves, and all of them not killing people. That's overrated. And books would tell you that. Mark, what's some of your thoughts about Black History Month and reading and being educated about your own history?
Well, I was just telling you, well, at least I was trying to, but then my computer was acting up as well. But I found an old flyer from the Hayti Center, and the flyer was about an author. He was actually a white author that was a professor of history at Duke University, and he wrote about the Harper's Ferry 5, which is the whole raid on Harper's Ferry that John Brown led and everything like that. And he wrote a book called Black Majority, Strange America. And he also wrote Near Andersonville, Winslow Homer's Civil War. So he was definitely widely known as a U.S. historian and things like that. But apparently, two of the people that were involved in Harper's Ferry were from parts of this area that we don't oftentimes think about, because we all know John Brown and everything like that. But there was also one of the other people that was in the raid was a gentleman named Lewis Sheridan Leary, who was born in Fayetteville, and John Anthony Copeland, who was born right there where you're at in Raleigh, North Carolina. So he was born right there in Raleigh, but he was part of the Harper's raid and all along those lines, which was people that were trying to free the slaves and all in that space. So you can learn about stuff like that by picking up books and learning about that kind of stuff. Because I was just going through this flyer and I saw a couple of flyers of authors that had been to Haiti and everything like that. As a matter of fact, later on this year, Melissa Harris Perry will be there, as will Taisha Coates and everything like that. So we'll be having some authors come by, and we were going to have this week, but it got postponed, not just because of the snow, but also because he needed to do some other work on it. But we were going to have Keith Knight come in, and he's the guy that is a cartoonist and an illustrator. So, books also can sometimes have amazing books and all along those lines. So he, like I said, I think we'll probably reschedule him for a later date. He was at Kwanzaa back in December, and he's got some amazing illustrations and all along those lines. So, some of the books have interesting things like that. And if you were talking about books, I was remembering, like I've told you before, my grandmother set up the library there in Raleigh, the Richard B. Harrison Library, which a lot of people, which I know you go to regularly and everything like that. She's got a whole collection named after her. And now she has an award named after her as well, which is about community activism and things in that space. So that's just good. They honored my grandmother in that way, because she was definitely an avid reader and worked both in the library, helping create that Black library in Raleigh, but she also was very active at the Stanford B. Warren Library, which is still very active here in Durham, North Carolina. So it's just good to see that. And like I said before, I definitely have read Pursuit of Happiness. You can read. Oh
yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can read books like there are books about Kobe Bryant, and I think I have somewhere in this house, I think I have a book on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and of course there have been books on Arthur Ashe and numerous other great athletes, as well as great singers and entertainers. I know some friends of mine that have books like on Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder, and even some of the masters of funk like George Clinton and people like that. So there's a number of books that you can read, even about famous people. I mean, everybody loves the books that both Michelle and Barack Obama put out about their presidency and about their life. And the same can be said about the books that the Clintons put out as well, even though they're not black and everything. Even though some people might think that they're actually black, because there's those they like to joke about that and everything like that. But there's a number of great authors and great books that you can get out there and learn about people's history and learn just of the richness, as you said, of our history and all along those lines. Because I know that if I open up any of my several bookshelves, there's all kinds of great books that it's just good to sometimes pick them up and reflect on them and see who they are involved. I mean, I'm even thinking about like some of the great detective books that I've known as well that are out there, because there's some black sci-fi authors. Everybody knows Octavia Butler, and everybody knows Robert Mosley, and all along those lines. So there's a number of great black writers in different styles of writing, not just biographies, but also some of the fictional styles as well.
And you know what I love? It's nothing to me. I love art books, and you'll be amazed at some of the best pictures that black artists have even taken and put in a book. And it's like it leaps out at you the way they capture it. And you're like, wow. You're like, it could be someone sitting in the window, and you're like, that is a good picture. And it's like you are now in that city, that town. And then I also think about the Civil War. How many black people fought in the Civil War?
Yeah. You think about how many people
even black women was in the Civil War fighting, and you're like, what? You're like, yes, everybody.
They were fighting in the Civil War,
but you wasn't a slave when you got in the war.
No, and like you said, they were fighting on both sides, on both the North and the South side and everything like that. But you just think about all the great books that are out there about like some of the people that were great entrepreneurs and everything. I think about the books that are out there about Madam C.J. Walker and everything like that. So there are great books about her and everything like that. So there's some books that you can see about her. Some of the books you can see about some of the great athletes. There are even books about some of the great artists that you were talking about. I know for a fact that there are some books about Romar Bearden, who is one of our great artists and everything like that. And I told you I had the pleasure of working. Well, I've known two of his daughters, and maybe even more than that in terms of all his kids and everything like that. But Ernie Barnes had some great artwork, and he's been featured in some books. And of course, people know him from the artwork of Good Times and everything like that. So, but yeah, his daughter, Deidre Barnes, just retired not that long ago from Measurement, which is one of the companies that I work for. And she's now doing a lot of things to make sure that her dad's legacy is maintained and all along those lines. And then her sister, Paige, actually lives in Los Angeles and works with the Parks and Rec department, if I remember correctly. But they're doing things to make sure that their dad's legacy is maintained.
And you know what, Mark? That is it. We really work hard to make sure our people legacy is maintained. And then when you have some of the folks trying to take that away out of the school system, out of just out the library. Now, come on, out the library, y'all.
Taking it out of the library and trying to rewrite stuff. I mean, if certain people had their way, we would not have a Black History Museum. And I don't know if you heard, but now he's talking about because of renovations, like we really believe that it's innovations, it's really spite and everything, that for the next 2 years, that person, we won't say his name, wants to close the Kennedy Center. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's still going to be called the Kennedy Center. I'm not going to put his name on it and everything like that. But he wants to close it for 2 years.
The Kennedy Center is closed because nobody going there.
Yeah, but he said that he wants to renovate it for 2 years. So it's going to be closed until, this is 2026, until 2028.
But that's because nobody going there. So that's the way to say, I'm going to renovate it. You're like, renovate it? Why? There's no reason to. But I think that we have like all the different riots that happen across the United States. There are collections of books. Like we had communities that we service our own self.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Like the Black Wall Streets and stuff like that.
Everything. We had doctors, lawyers, stuff, and then they're like, "Oh, well, what happened? They burned it down."
They burnt it down, or they drove roads to it, because I do history talks for the Hayti Heritage Center and everything like that. And one of the great quotes that W.E.B. Du Bois talked about is the fact that you literally could go from the things that you needed when you were born, like a hospital to be born in and everything, to what you needed when you pass away, which is namely a funeral home and things like that. And all of that stuff was in our community. We even could build, are you ready for this? We didn't have to go to Sears, because one of the things he talked about is you could have a mattress that was made by a black man, which means that you could actually go and sleep on a bed that a black man made. You didn't have to go to Sears. You didn't have to go to some of these great mattress stores that are out there now and everything like that. And you could also get a suit that had been designed by a brother and everything like that. All of that was in our.
You put your money in a black bank.
Yeah, exactly. And he talked about that you could put your money in a black bank and get insurance from a black insurance company and everything like that.
Like we have so much rich history. 365 days does not do us justice.
No, we don't. We need more than that the shortest month of the year, because there's just so much that goes on and everything like that. Hold on one second. I'm going to see if I can find one little thing really quickly. So I'm going to go off camera just for a minute.
Okay, go ahead. I'll go ahead. And so that's why books take you to all these wonderful places that Blacks have contributed. And that's why we are committed for February to have our podcast around Black History Month. We want you to come and share your books, your thoughts, your ideas, and how we can help one another continue the legacy over and over again for our rich history. It is so very important that we tell our own story. Don't let anyone else tell our story for us, because no one can tell your story like the way you tell your story. And I think, and to go back to the Bible, nobody can tell the Bible like the Bible tell the Bible. Nobody can talk about John like John talk about John. No one can talk about Matthew. No one can talk about Jesus. It is rich and grounded in that. And we are part of that. And the great thing about as being a Black person is we are not trying to erase no one else's history. No one. We are embracing the Jewish history. We're embracing the Hispanic. Okay. Now, we are saying to our white culture, we didn't do what y'all did to other races. We did. And so to learn from your mistakes is the greatest tool anyone can ever have taught you, or give to you, or provided to you. To apologize and to not try to take it away from people, because you only makes the issue at hand greater than when it started from. And so again, we are here to help you, to educate you, to bring some of the best books to you during this month. And this encourage you to look beyond being on social media, but providing a safe place so that others can come and experiment what you are doing, but just learning. What'd you find, Mark, for us?
I'm back. I was trying to find a couple of books that people could go and get. This one, it features Donna Brazile, Yolanda Caraway,
that is great.
And Minion Moore with Veronica Chambers. It is called, and you might want to get this book if you don't already have it yet. It's called For Colored Girls Who Have Considered Politics. So for colored girls who have considered politics, so these are ladies that have worked with those who have shaped our country's history, from U.S. Presidents Bill Clinton and Barack Obama to legendary historical figures Jesse Jackson, Coretta Scott King, and Betty Shabazz. So this group of trailblazing women call themselves the Colored Girls. And within these pages, their personal stories share one poignant thread, their goal to hairy history, so that every American, regardless of race, gender, or religious background, can have a seat at the table. Their lives are part of our history. Their voices point to our future. So this is one book that I've got in my collection. It is these are four of the most influential African American women in the United States, and like I said, that's Donna Brazile, Yolanda Caraway, Leah Daughtry, and many more who helped with a lot of the political campaigns. And as you know, I went to Marquette University, and this is the book that you definitely should get. And this is a father book and everything, but everybody knows the great basketball player and a fellow Marquette gentleman, Dwayne Wade, and everything like that. So this is Dwayne Wade's book and everything along those lines. And actually the gentleman, and I also have his book, Chris Gardner, who is the person behind The Pursuit of Happiness, he says this book is an unforgettable, uplifting read. You discover a fatherhood journey that reminds us of all of the miraculous power of faith and family. So it's called A Father's First. So how my life became bigger than basketball. And it's about Dwayne Wade and raising his kids and all along those lines. So he's Stuart Scott, who is the sportscaster and anchor on ESPN, said, fatherhood is the toughest, most rewarding full-time job in life. Dwayne and I are the same mold. As a dad, you're never off the clock, which means you're blessed to cherish every minute of it. And even though I don't have any kids of my own, I know that my younger brother, who does have kids, would agree with that, because I know he's always doing stuff with his kids and all along those lines. So I was just trying to find at least a couple of books that I could share with you, but that's two right there.
It makes a difference. If you read, you're going to find yourself in some book.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to help you overcome something. Because you be like, oh my goodness, I didn't know they went. See, people see you here, but they don't know what you've been through.
That's
and when
true.
you read, it opens up that world of what you've been through, and you'll be like, oh, I can overcome that.
Yeah.
Reading helps you overcome so much. To educate the mind is the most powerful thing. You know, we don't use the mind, not even 1% of it.
No, we don't use the mind, and sometimes we can even have fun with books. Like I said, those were biographies, and I mentioned other biographies and all on those lines. But you know, there are books that you can even have to enjoy relationships. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Somewhere in the house, I've got some books that are from the lady that does a lot of erotica and all of that stuff. You know who I'm talking about. She's very famous and everything along those lines.
Zane. What is her name? Oh my God. Zane. Both of us know that. But you know what? Everybody love Waiting to Exhale.
Waiting to Exhale, and even the books of, I think it is Zane. I think it's Zane is the young lady that we're trying to think about, and everything like that.
I'm just telling you.
And then like Nina Fox, who writes similar kind of books.
You know, Project 1619.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what is her name? Jackson, Judge, Supreme Court. Her book. That's what I'm saying. We have so much rich history.
Oh yeah.
And you shouldn't deny one group for reading their history and tell them you're only one, you need to read only this.
No. And we can read some great books. I mean, one of the best books that I heard was actually from a hip hop artist. And if you haven't picked up Sister Soldier's book, she has a great book.
Malcolm X is a good book.
Yep, Malcolm X is a good book. And like I said before, Martin Luther King, From Chaos to Community, is an amazing book and everything like that. And of course, John Lewis wrote about his book about Good Trouble and everything like that. So those are some great books.
And you know, there's you know, go online and Google Black bookstores. Order from them. Order from your Black books, because they have books that Amazon would never thought about having.
No, and we had a great Black bookstore that was here in Durham that was a bedrock of our community for a number of years until it went out of business, that being the No Bookstore and everything like that. But there are still some Black bookstores in Durham. They aren't as big maybe as the No was, but I know there's one in Raleigh. As a matter of fact, I think there's a family bookstore in Raleigh that's even got some Black Christian books and everything like that. So there are some great books that we can go out there and support what they're doing.
That's right. Well, Mark, I want to thank you so very much for joining us on our tour this month on Black History Month. Bring some more books back. I'll be bringing some for the next Wednesday night, and just share different books that I'm telling you, T.D. Jakes and his daughter have some great books. Oh, yeah. Only religious book, not all of them. I don't know why people. No, they're not. They are really good books, and you can find healing inside of them.
Well, speaking of healing, and I'll bring his book as well as we get ready to go off. There are even great books from some of our local authors, because I know that Mike Wiley has got some plays, and some of those plays are based on books that Tim Tyson, who is a white author, wrote about some of the Black history, whether that was around Emmett Till or whether that was the guy that was stuck
Oh my
in a
goodness,
box
it
and
still
stuff
was
like
very
that.
good.
So these are great books that you can have. And even my good friend Carl Kenny has written some books about his own faith journey, and even some of the things that he had to go and maybe even did that were some wrong turns. Because let's not be
Right.
wrong, because sometimes our ministers can make wrong turns, but then they can also find ways to come back to turning back to the right and everything like that. So I know that his book touches on some of his wrong turns in life and everything. So look up Carl Kenny, look up some of the other great authors that are out there. And there are even some amazing authors right here in our community, because I know for a fact that Dasan Ahono, who is our poetry slam master at the Hayti Center, and he runs our poetry team. He's written several poetry books and all along those lines. And he's a great author, and as is his now fiance, Jess Everhart, who has written some great works as well, and has women going on like these reinvention tours. I think their thing is called Reinvention Imagine or something like that. But I know that she's very big into that, and they are engaged. I think they're going to get married later this year, because she's got a child from a previous relationship, and I think he's got a child from a previous relationship, but they're going to do that whole Brady Bunch thing and bring their families together and everything like that. So they are engaged, and much luck to them on their engagement.
That's right. That's what I said. All of us ain't out there doing what only a few people is doing what they see on TV. Very, very, very few. ICE is doing more damage than anybody else in America have ever done. So we need to talk about leave other people alone and enjoy books. So someone need to go out there and pass them some books out for they could read to find something to do something. I want to thank you so very much for joining me, Mark, and we're looking forward to next Wednesday, and we continue talking about Black History Month, 365 days of year of goodness. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you next Thursday. Have a great night.
Yeah, see you next week.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. Getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a state. You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. Getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement that explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner. You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings, but now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed